Scream 6 is obviously the sixth installment in the Scream franchise. This is a pretty quick follow up to Scream 5, which came out last year, a movie I enjoyed a decent bit. I didn't love it as much as other people did, if you remember my initial review. I don't know, I kind of bounce back and forth between my thoughts on that movie. There are a lot of aspects of it that I really like, and when I thought about it more and before giving it a rewatch, I was like, oh, this was actually really good. Like, I liked a lot of aspects of this movie, but then you rewatch it and then you remember some of the cringier dialogue, some of the visual moments that weren't too great, some of the characters that felt really uninteresting. The whole Billy Loomis daughter thing is very dumb and very far-fetched. So, I thought it was a solid Scream sequel, and was excited for this one, especially with how many people are absolutely loving this thing. Even people that weren't huge fans of Scream 5 really, really loved this movie. So, yeah, I went and checked it out today, and I have mostly the same opinions on it that I do Scream 5. Scream 6 improves on Scream 5's in certain ways, and also was a little worse in certain ways. One, visually, I thought it was a little bit better. There were a lot of moments here that were like, I feel like the blocking was better. I felt like the overall shot composition was better. The set dressing was better. Like, the editing was better. It's just, everything looked better in this movie, and I felt that was a massive improvement over Scream 5. With all the legacy characters besides Gale either being dead or written out of the film, I felt like they didn't rely on them as much of a crutch as they did in the other movie, which was a good thing. This movie is still very much tied to the entire Scream lore and tied to its roots and horror movies and meta humor, but I felt like they weren't relying too heavily on the requel characters. So I liked that aspect. Jenna Ortega wasn't as annoying in this movie. I still don't like her. I think she isn't that great of an actress and is definitely getting overexposed right now. But she was fine in this movie. The sisters in this movie, and they're not like the Loomis sisters, but they, you know what I'm talking about. I find them really uninteresting, and I find both of their performances really bland and really like non-performances, and I feel like they are surrounded by way more interesting characters, and their supporting cast is really rich and is really a lot of personality, is really lively, and I think they are just easily the weakest links of both of their movies. But the mystery this time around was definitely better. The kills were way better. They were way more entertaining, and obviously there was more of them. I felt like there was a lot of more creative sequences with them, and I felt like it was more exhilarating and heart-pumping in that way. I really loved the train sequence in this film. I felt like that really worked for me. And I liked the setting. I liked the setting of New York City. I think it's a good juxtaposition between Woodsboro and going to New York City. I felt like that was better overall for the movie. I really liked the look of Ghostface. I felt like he, as the entity, was more intimidating. Was definitely more of like a loose cannon in this movie. And I love the fake out beginning. Again, I'm not going to press that too much, or not go into much detail about it because obviously no spoilers here. But I really liked the way the entire opening happened. My big negative with this film is the Ghostface reveal. That is usually where Scream films kind of grind to a halt, and it's like, really? That was the best you got here? And here it happens again. It's very much like, oh, alright. That was kind of stupid. The final act of this movie is cool, because the kills are awesome. Like, the actual end battle between the sisters and whoever ends up becoming Ghostface is really cool, but the actual reveal of who it is pretty disappointing and bogs down this movie significantly for me. I felt like it was a twist that was a little too obvious, but also a character that, I don't know, didn't fit the mold. Like, it felt very forced and very Ghostfacey. It felt very pre-Scream 1 Ghostface, so it fits the mold with that. Other than that, I don't have much else to say about Scream 6. It was very entertaining. Like, I was enthralled the entire time. I liked the supporting cast. I loved the kills. It was a good mystery up until the end. And yeah, that's all I really have to say on it. It was fine. It was pretty decent. Like I say, I would say it's worth watching. It's not as good as other people are saying it is, but I feel like more people get enjoyment out of this movie more so than I would. So I'm going to give Scream 6 a very strong B-, teetering on a B. It's very close, but for right now it's a B-. So yeah, pretty much the same thoughts I have on Scream 5. And that's all I really have to say here. I will be going away. I'm not sure if I'll have another review out before then, but I will be going away next week, so there won't be any uploads then. And other than that, I will see you guys later in the next video.